Alrighty. I welcome everyone and greet everyone a good afternoon and welcome to Public Health's virtual education series Wazooki Wo Ehi, Family Conversations. I'm Jamie Decora, Public Health Worker Supervisor, joined by Renelle McKernan, the Public Health Nurse, who will help me moderate today's session. The goal of the series is to gather, learn, and share about Ho-Chunk culture, resources, services, and the connection to health. In public health, we focus on prevention, promotion, and protection of the health and well-being of our communities. Health and well-being are rooted in many aspects of our lives, from our physical body, our mental health, our spirit, the environment we live in, and much more. During these sessions, we will explore topics that impact our health and well-being. Together, we will learn about tools and resources to improve our health and the health of our communities. Today, we are joined by Rita Kingswan to talk to us about cultural awareness. Rita will have about 45 minutes for today's presentation, followed by Q&A. Please use the chat function today and enter in any comments or questions for the presenter, and I will help moderate the chat. If we find that there is not enough time for questions, we will email them out to Rita and email her answers out to the group. As a reminder, this session is being recorded and will be posted to the Department of Health website and Facebook pages. Everyone, please welcome Rita Kingswan.
Thank you. So I'm going to actually probably be asking questions so you're able to ask questions even before the 45 minutes because I actually got a question right now. How many of you have been taking care of yourselves? Okay, I only got one person out of however many are actually on here. What have you been doing how are you taking care of yourself?
I am letting my partner know that I need to take care of myself and have my own time to myself, whether it's speeding, crafting, or watching a movie by myself.
So that's like one of the biggest things that I've seen because of the stuff that has happened. We have been raised to not actually see ourselves as important, so we don't really take care of ourselves. So we got a lot of people that are stressed out. Hi, Mary.
Where am I? Hi.
I was like, you're unmuted, so I can hear you
Can
moving
you hear
around.
me? Can you hear me? I'll
Yes.
mute myself.
So even for cultural awareness, saying awareness, well, you got to be even aware of who you are, what's going on with you. Like I was talking with some of my coworkers, and I always like asking this one question. How many of you actually say or think saying that you're a good listener? Okay. So for the ones that said you're an actual good listener, do you really listen to your body? Do you rest when your body says we need rest? So even for this is why I usually always bring this up, is for us wanting to do things for other people, we were really actual people of do as I say, as I do. But we've been promoting do as I say, not as I do. Who do we usually follow more? Who are we wanting to actually do or be like? Do we like to follow the ones that tell you to do something and you see them not even doing what they're telling you to do? Or if you actually see them do what they're doing, do you follow them? Who would you follow more? So I'm wanting all of us to actually want to get back into that habit that we actually were people as do as I say, as I do, and of actually doing, of taking care of ourselves. I love this for me. That's why I want it for you. Even for the things that have happened, we have been passing on all these hurtful, harmful ways of doing things. And a lot of it has been twisted and said, well, that's culture. It's culture. It's culture. I told ones or it came up and I said, if it sounds like it's hurtful, harmful, that wasn't a part of our culture because we weren't really ones of wanting this, passing this hurt and harmful ways onto people. We knew how to do these things in a good, caring, loving way. Because even I'm going to use this one, there's a, of the biggest one where they always say respect. How many of you know what, I should say how many? I would like to hear from whoever on what does respect mean to you? What does it mean to be respectful? Anybody?
Treat others how you would like to be treated. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Jackie. Treat others like how you want to be treated. Valuing
Rita.
someone else.
Thank you.
To be listened to be valued, to be present. Anybody else? Okay. Accept people for who they are. Okay, now I have another one, another question. How were you shown how to be respectful? Modeled by parents, by example, from peers, elders, by example. Can anybody give me an example how you were shown by example? swatted if you were not being respectful. Okay. How did you know you were not being respectful? Deb. Deb, why were you swatted, or what was being disrespectful?
Can I go ahead and say something?
What?
Can I go ahead and say something? At least in my culture, if you are disrespectful, you are disciplined.
Okay. If I was not paying attention to grandparents when they asked me to do something.
I would agree with Edna too. My parents were strict in that if we were being disrespectful, we were reprimanded,
Oh,
disciplined in some way.
okay. How were you being disrespectful?
Like talking back was a big one. You don't talk back, especially to elders, those teachers. And I guess how we knew not to talk back was the way my parents would model speaking to other people.
Okay. Not asking permission before taking something such as a cookie or a treat. Does anybody else have any other examples for how you were told you were being disrespectful? Can we actually just have people kind of talk? Because I'm
Yeah.
having a hard time reading people's answers here, and then
Rita, this is Mary. I would think that there were expectations put in place. And so I guess, just thinking about teachers in school and that you wouldn't treat someone in authority, whether that maybe be a police officer or whomever, I guess there was that expectation that certain people were given respect, maybe for who their profession was or where I was located at the time. So people in certain authority maybe were to get a certain level of respect is what I was taught.
okay. Deb, did you have something to say?
No, I would agree with Mary.
Okay. Anybody else? So I've seen ones on how even of asking certain things, ones kept saying, well, I don't want to be disrespectful. Even for asking a question. And I was thinking, why is that being disrespectful? So for me, working on guiding a lot of people on healing has helped me understand, well, a lot of people actually haven't been shown in a loving, caring way on what actual respect is. And it's more out of fear. Because even especially of hearing ones, I always say, respect your elders, respect your elders. For when you were growing up, you don't actually even know what respect was. I've shared, I know on how respect is or what respect is because I was even fortunate enough of that my Gaga, my grandmother, she gave us respect. She gave us respect when I was a little kid. So by her giving us respect, we gave respect back. Because when I started my doing my cultural training classes, I've heard from a lot of people on that they were beaten or hit, swatted, whatever, of saying that they had to respect their grandparents. And I was like, gee, it's kind of harsh. You don't even know who those people are, but you were demanded to respect people, and you didn't even know what respect was. So I was like, how do you actually know how to be respectful if it, you just got here and we're supposed to be these older people, older ones are supposed to be helping and guiding us to actually show us what it is. But you were being demanded and told this is what you're supposed to do. You don't even know what it is. So being able to actually have that, to be able to have somebody give that to you, then you actually know what to give back. Because where I started hearing ones of saying, oh, these kids these days, they're not being respectful. And then what pops in my head right away is wondering, well, what did you do to them? Or what we're, of being shown and given that first, you know how to give that back. And for all those people, our caregivers, that's how they used to be, of actually giving us something and of that understanding, where like one of the biggest things that I remember my dad telling me is that we're all the same, we're all equal. No one is more, no one is less. So that understanding of the oldest person that's in the room to the very youngest one in the room, we're all the same. You give the same amount of respect to that baby as you would to the oldest person. And we started putting these labels on stuff where we now have this hierarchical system. And that's not how we lived. We didn't really live by that because another teaching that we had was we learn from everyone and everything. There's all these other people that we have that are probably younger than us. They teach us. And those little tiny people are the ones that we are supposed to be learning from them, as long as also from them learning from us, because they teach us on how to teach them. Because I'm going to assume that everybody that's on here has a sibling. Am I correct?
Several.
Are you and your siblings exactly alike?
Not even close.
Couldn't be more different.
So we look at that and understand. So you had a of teaching your parents and how to teach you, or your caregivers, because we all learn differently. So we're not all the same, because we're not meant to be. We're not meant to be exactly alike. And we understood that. We understood of everybody being themselves. So like I said, even of that, knowing how to be respectful in a good way is, by these ones showing us and giving us respect as those little tiny human beings when we get here. So we understand and know how to give that back and to be respectful to everyone in a good way, because I know there's a lot of people that of being respectful, but they're scared. It's like a fear base of being respectful. And like, oh, I don't wanna, like they did something wrong. Of hearing and seeing ones do that, I was like, that's not how we should be, and that's not how, things were done before all these things have happened. And that's why most everything I do actually talks about working on healing, because it really does stem from all of that. We all have intergenerational trauma, and there are some people's traumas they're a lot longer than others. But of understanding that, like I said, even for that big, I'm going to say respect is a big one, because you always hear that being thrown around all the time. And there are ones that like to use, well, I'm an elder, or I'm Ho Chunk, or I'm a veteran. That doesn't entitle you to hurt people for wanting respect. For wanting respect from others is actually of teaching them, giving them respect because that's what you want, and doing it in a loving, caring way. We have, for these things that have happened, it really has hurt us. We are hurting and not doing things in a loving, caring way. Most of it is done in a hurtful, harmful way. And wanting to work, and that's why I said my biggest thing is on working on healing, because in order for us to see that, we got to see that within ourselves. And it really is, I love this for me. That's what I want it for you. I love and I respect myself. That's why I want to give that to you. Because there's all these teachings that have happened. And like, I know quite a few people that are on here, and I've seen them. They're always roaming around busy, not sitting still, because that's what they've been taught. You can't sit still. You always got to be constantly busy. So that's why I always ask people, how many of you actually take care of yourself? How many of you can just sit and be? And that is one of the biggest things that I know a lot of people can't do. Because I even asked that in health. I've asked behavioral health. I've even asked ones in pharmacy. A lot of them can't just sit and be, because they haven't been raised to just, they've been raised, if you sit still and aren't doing anything, you're not worthy. So it's almost kind of coincides even for being respectful. Well, of wanting to work on doing these harmful, hurtful, harmful things that have been passed down, but of wanting people to see that they are hurtful and harmful. We really did do a lot of stuff in a good, caring way, even for teaching stuff, of remembering the things that I like doing because it was shown in a fun, caring way. We always had these things I'm going to say things were done in a family group setting, and they were made to be fun. Because if we're going to teach you something and we want you to actually want to keep doing it, we knew we had to make it fun. But I know there's a lot of places on you can't be having fun, then you're not working, you're being unproductive. Because even for one of my classes that I did with a bunch, some sisters from the Franciscan church. There's some sisters and their staff. And one of the biggest things I know a lot of you always hear, if you even see a group of ho chunks, most of them are laughing. And that is one of our things as well. Our natives are just always, they find humor in a lot of stuff. And that's what I said to them. I was like, here I am saying some little jokes here, and I got very few of you actually laughing out loud. I was like, why is it why is it bad to even show that you're enjoying yourself? So there's a lot of adults, because whenever we reach this magical number in age, we're not supposed to have fun anymore or even laugh, which I don't get. And that's really sad. Even for at work, to even be able to hear people laughing, having fun, enjoying themselves, I was like, that should be really great and wonderful. Because if you look at it or think about it, when you hear a baby laugh, what do you want to do?
Laugh right
Anybody?
along.
Yep. Because how many of you can just sit there and watch that baby laugh without laughing with them? And that's another example of why I said we remembered and knew that we learned from everyone and everything, because even if seeing those babies, they show us and they teach us things. They try to remind us stuff, but we were meant and we were taught and we were told not to be listening because we're older than them. We're not supposed to be learning anything from them. And here they are showing us things that we should be doing in our everyday life. Because on how contagious the laughter is from a baby, they can make a whole room laugh with them. Probably of trying to show us that we should be enjoying ourselves. So that's even kind of like of that respect there. We're not respecting those babies of showing us and teaching us things because we have it that we're supposed to be the ones teaching them and we're not supposed to be learning from them. So wanting of, like I said, working on this healing, everything is all connected. We knew how to do these things with everyone. We knew we were all connected no matter what it was that we did and no matter who it was. But the things that have happened have made us disconnected. They have disconnected us from a lot of things. We're not a team anymore. It's all about me and what I'm doing. It's my idea, mine's the best, and that's what we're using. Not wanting to listen to other ones and help and see what it is that they wanna, what they can add. We used to work together as a team to be able to see everybody's strengths and actually have that respect for them, to be able to listen to everything and see if that we could we add this all together and come up with a great idea of wanting to work and heal and work on ourselves to heal, to remember how to listen, how to work together, how to be respectful. Because we really have forgotten a lot of these things that how we were as a people. And like I said, now it's kind of a hierarchical system. But for the things that I remember, what my dad had said is that we're all the same, we're all equal. No one is more, no one is less. For wanting respect, we got to show that first. We're the ones to give that to them. Not because I'm me, so you should respect me. I want you to respect me, so I'm going to give that to you because I want that from you. But even to have that respect for yourself, of actually respecting yourself and having that to be able to give that to others, we haven't been shown to do things for ourselves first, to do that and wanting to do that. Because I noticed like the difference on, like I said, of where one said, I'm going to just say of kind of demanding respect, that we're shown that way to be respectful, compared to ones that were actually given respect and shown in a loving, caring way now to be respectful. There are differences in how you can see and how they are. And even having more of that confidence within themselves, of knowing and understanding, and they actually are able to see people being actually respectful, even if they can't see that within themselves. And that's what I've been working on with a lot of people, because like I said, healing is the most important thing to me, because we should be wanting that for ourselves. Because I see ones from social services, even education. I don't know if anybody else's department is here on here, because those are the only names that I recognize and see, that knowing that they're from like social services or education, administration. Is there any other department here that I didn't say?
I'm with the ADRC of Jackson County, so within the Health and Human Services building there.
Okay. Public Health, Sauk County. So most of these departments, or even we have probably everybody that's here, is of working with people, of wanting, of helping others. And that's what of promoting, is of wanting that for yourself first. Wanting to be good and healing for yourself, to be able to do that for others who all you want to do that for. Being able to give that to you, for you to give so much more that you're wanting to all you're wanting to give that to. Because I know a lot, or most, maybe if not all of you, have been taught that you're supposed to, I'm going to say, and I always like using this, of saying you're running yourselves ragged. and you were told or taught to give to yourselves last. So what are you actually giving to the people that you're wanting to help? How much of that are you actually giving? I even told one of my sons, because this is what he was taught, well, I'm supposed to do and take care of all these other people before I take care of myself. So I asked him, well, if you don't take care of you, well, who's going to be showing them how? If you're not here, who's going to be doing that? So it really is all on remembering I am number one. I want this for you. I gotta do this for me first, for wanting to do this for you. Of wanting to make sure I'm here so I can show you what I want to show you. Because I've seen a lot of people, like I said, and I always like saying that because I see that a lot of people run themselves ragged. They're feeling sick or they hurt themselves. Oh, I still can do this. I still can do this. But your body's telling you something. And what was shown to you of making sure that you're still hurt and not actually working on you push yourself. I was like, well, and that's why I asked him. I was like, well, who's going to do that if you're not here? Of wanting once to remember, because those were the things that we did have, of knowing we were number one. I love myself. I love me. That's why I want to give that to you. I respect me. That's why I want to respect, of knowing how to respect you. I'm proud of me. I am proud of you. To be able to give that to ourselves, to fill that in order for us to be able to do that to all the people that we want to do that for, of that understanding. Because we haven't been taught that. We haven't been shown that, because those are the things that have been taken. We were meant to forget those things. We were meant to not want to be balanced. And even of that understanding, like I said, respect. How many have respect for themselves? So knowing and understanding we did all these things because we knew we were number one.
Yeah.
Beth, your mic is on.
I'm
So of wanting to have these things of, like I said, of pushing and wanting to work on healing, because it's all connected to that. We all have this intergenerational trauma that has been passed down, these hurtful, harmful ways of doing stuff. So we were made to forget these things, because even for those little tiny people, they tell us and they show us things. They show us on how to be, to remember how we did, how we were. Because, well, they're still very connected to where it is that they came from. So that's why we used to see them as our little teachers. But because of the things that have happened, we have been made to forget that, well, we don't learn from them because they're younger than us. They can't be teaching us anything because they're younger than us. But we knew and remembered that we have respect for everyone and everything. And we gave that to them. We gave it to everybody. But if you don't give respect to yourself, how are you going to give that to anybody? Of remembering on the importance of working and seeing on how much healing does matter. To be able to see that within ourselves, to be able to do that for ourselves, to want to do that for everybody that you're wanting to do that for. Because I know a lot like to use that word, use that especially of respect. And it's not done in a good, caring, loving way. It's mostly always done in a hurtful, harmful, fearful way on what respect is. Where, like I said, everything is actually, it is tied to of wanting that healing for ourselves. Because of doing that, we would be able to see that that everybody that's here for this, to be able to see that we are all here of wanting to work together instead of being divided and thinking we have to do everything just by ourselves. We knew we always had a team of understanding, like I actually have no idea if nobody doesn't have a sibling, but I'm going to just assume everybody does have a sibling, at least a sibling. That was your first team that you were born into, because you are going to do everything with your siblings. You go through a lot with them. But the things that have happened, we've been taught and shown that we're supposed to do a lot by ourselves. So it starts separating us, and some people probably feel, no, it's all on me. It's all on my shoulders. Because we have also created these systems, these places on, well, I'm going to say for whoever's in a supervisory position, because there's only one supervisor for so many people. But if we were able to actually look at things as a team, let's work together as a team, find out what everybody's strengths are, whatever the goal is, we're able to get to that goal with ease. But the things that have been here that have been put in place, I really think it is because of not wanting ones to actually be balanced. And to have you keep running. So we got a lot of people that are burnt out, stressed, because I'm going to say some of them are kind of like worked to death. So even like, there goes even respect. If we all actually had respect for each other, then why are we letting people burn out, get stressed out? So I really do push on that we should want healing for ourselves, for us to be able to actually work together, help each other, to live in a better, happier world. Because now I have another question for you all. How many of you have heard of the Franciscan sisters, um, Sisters of Adoration.
I've never.
Okay.
I have. This is Mary.
Okay.
I have not heard of them.
Okay.
I have.
So there's
I haven't.
so they are sisters from the Catholic Church. And they had a boarding school. They also had a boarding school up north, and it must be on the Lac de Flambeau Reservation. There are still some sisters up there. There's also some sisters over in the La Crosse area. They were the ones for that Franciscan camp, the Franciscan hospital. And then there's some in Milwaukee. So for the last couple of years, because of them reaching out to, well, it said some of the tribes, neighboring tribes, I'll just say. And I've actually worked with some of them, the ones down in La Crosse. Here, they gave the land back to the Lac de Flambeau tribe where that boarding school was, or that they still had, because they started working on their healing. And what makes it so interesting and amazing is that they didn't ask for permission from Rome. Whatever sisters got together and worked on it, and they gave that land back. And of understanding for the things that happened, how they were, what was done there wasn't this great thing. They didn't help the Native kids that were sent there. And for them to be able to understand and see and really understand that trauma, and I really hope that they actually are seeing that the trauma within themselves of healing, if that was one of the reasons for them to see that, of wanting to give that land back to them, and for them to continue to want to work on the healing that for themselves on what has happened to them. Because one of the things that of understanding is hurt people. I had to realize that the reason why the things happened to the natives at the boarding schools is because, well, it happened to the ones that ran the boarding schools. So of wanting, like I said, of understanding, like why I push that healing is so important, to be able to see that. And the sad thing is, it's wonderful news that happened like a couple weeks ago, but it wasn't reported anywhere. And the only reason I know about it was because for my admin, he sent me a TikTok video that talked about that, and this happened about 2 weeks ago. But I don't think it was publicly aired anywhere through the state of what happened, of this good thing that happened. Jamie says we have five minutes. Anybody have any questions? No? For everybody that the new people are too busy promoting negativity. For the people that haven't done or do anything for themselves, can you think of something to do for yourselves or give back to yourself?
Learn that sometimes it's okay to ask for help, even though you think that you can do everything on your own.
Yeah. Pam, I don't know what that's supposed to say. Okay. I was like, so exercise, rest without guilt.
This is Mary. I think I'll start it. I'll try a yoga class with yoga here in town. That's what I need to do, some yoga, which is supposed to have mindfulness, I think, with it.
Yep. Because there are some people over in health when I had done a couple classes, and I always ask them, well, have you started doing something for you? And for the ones that said that they started doing something, I'll ask them, have they continued doing what they've done for themselves? But the thing is how do you feel? And they've always felt so much better when they actually do something for themselves. And that's what we should want is, well, why don't you want ones to be happy and feeling great and wonderful? How do you reverse effects of how we were taught respect? What do we do to teach our children differently? So that's a thing that's why, like I said, I promote on working on healing. And that's why healing it really is. It's very important for ourselves. Of wanting that for ourselves, we don't actually have to tell or teach a child anything different. When we start doing something differently, they just automatically follow. Of seeing that it's within ourselves, I want this different for me, of doing it for me. And there is no quick fix. Has never been a quick fix. It always takes time. Because that's another thing that I was taught is you don't rush. You think about things. What happens when you rush?
Mistakes.
Anybody? Yes. But we've been taught to rush everything, and we're supposed to have things just like that. So when we work on ourselves, even on of wanting to change, we got to see that within ourselves and start doing what we can do for us. Our gradual changes do happen, but even for your children. So this is what I would, because how many people have been, and many of you using this, how many people have been raised with yelling, or they were yelled at for whatever. So this is what I was of telling ones, you don't want to do that to your kids, but that's a thing that you were shown, and that's, well, that has been a habit where you feel that. I was like, that's a thing of wanting, you got to calm yourself down. You got to walk away. And think about what it is that you're wanting to say. Because we have been raised in which I'm going to say those are the triggers. You're being triggered by your children or anybody. It's not just your children, but, and once you get triggered, people react. So not actually listening or hearing what was actually said, you're reacting to what you heard. So instead of taking the time and just slowing yourself down, one's rush to say whatever it is, first thing that comes to mind. So this is where I was like telling one's on, we gotta slow ourselves down, walk away, because you even of being able to calm yourself, even talking in a calm voice. Because I don't know how many people are able to talk or keep themselves in a calm place and not being all riled. But that all does take time of letting ourselves slow down.
Thank you so
I've
much,
never,
Rita, for today. Is
okay.
there any final questions for Rita? Rita, I thank you very much on just teaching us a little bit about just culture and remembering to take care of ourselves. Um, can't pour
Yeah.
from an empty glass. For sure.
Yes. So of understanding you're number one and really believe that you're number one.
And I thank everyone for joining us today. As a reminder, the session was recorded and will be on the Department of Health website and Facebook pages. We look forward to seeing everyone next Wednesday, November 19th. We'll have Ho-Chunk Heritage Preservation Department here to talk to us about Ho-Chunk culture and preservation. Next week's session will not only be on WebEx, but for those that are able to join us, will be in person at D1CC in one of the upper classrooms. You can use the same link that was that you were given today to join all future sessions. If you would like the recurring WebEx link, you can either email me, Jamie DeCoro, or email Renelle McKernan, Public Health Nurse. Again, I thank everyone for joining. Let's give Rita a big round of applause for her presentation today, and I hope to see everyone next week, Wednesday. You guys have a good day.
This was fun.